Hello, farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Al,
And my name is Cody.
and we are here today to talk about being games. Bzz,
Bzzz.
bzz, bzz.
Bzzz.
Oh dear. Well, Cody, it's finally happened.
I know, I'm
We're
so happy.
finally covering a game on the podcast that is exclusively about bees.
I know. It's lovely. Um Ever since we first talked about this game on the podcast a year ago or something,
Who even
I was
knows?
I was just like I want to do this, and when
Yeah.
we talk about it, I want to be the the person. So, I'm happy that we're here.
Woo.
Woo.
Mm. Well, looks like the first time we mentioned it was in May of last year.
Oh, there we go.
Almost exactly a year ago.
There we go. That is exciting.
In the show notes of that episode, it just says APICO bees, which fair enough.
Not wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Hello, Cody. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been trying to meet a step goal every day for the last couple. Well, I set like on Wednesday of last week. I was like, okay, screw it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make this step goal. I'm gonna walk 10,000 steps a day at least. I'm gonna do it. And so I've been doing it pretty well,
Mm-hmm.
except for I think like 2 days ago, or three. Gosh, when was that? I don't remember. I was on a bus for a very long time one day, so it didn't happen that day. But yesterday, I walked almost 20,000 steps,
Nice.
and my feet were not prepared. It's interesting, like, after you have an injury, coming back into health.
Yeah.
Because, like, at first I couldn't do things because my leg limited it, and it would hurt. But
Yeah.
now like the strength is there, and I'll try and like exercise or do something, and now it's like my cardio, like I don't have cardio
Mm.
capacity. And
Yeah.
then going for the walk, like my leg was fine. My leg doesn't hurt even now, but like my feet hurt so bad.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
funny.
Feet really love to complain when you do the one thing that they're meant to do.
You have literally one job. But yeah, I'm
Uh,
trying to get ready for my field season starting up this next week, actually. So yeah,
nice. Got some
gonna,
bees to look at in
gonna
real
be
life.
going and looking at real life bees. What about you, Al?
Bzzz.
How have you been?
Yeah, I'm good. I also did a good long walk. I did it on Saturday. I managed to get
Mm-hmm.
sunburnt because as usual, I mean I wasn't in Scotland for the walk, but basically Scotland, the Isle of Man.
Mm-hmm.
Um uh as is always the case, there becomes a point in the year where I haven't realized that I should wear sun cream yet, and I definitely should have worn sun cream.
Oh
So
no.
now I'm probably going to be putting on sun cream for any time I go outside longer than 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just forgot on Saturday, and it was very, very sunny. And I didn't take it with me in my bag. And I realized like half an hour into the walk, I was like, I am going to get burnt today. But it was too late already. I wasn't turning round. So but it was a very nice walk. It was lovely weather, and I walked a good portion of the coast of the Isle of Man. I got in 25,000 steps, which was nice. Spent about
Wow.
it was about 22 kilometers I walked, I think.
Wow. Yeah, it was
Um,
funny. I was looking at the app because, for listeners who don't know, Al runs a step challenge for the Pokemon community server that we're in. And so I'm in like a step challenge like group with him. And I was looking at it the other day, and I was like number 2 or number 3 in
mhm.
the group. And I told my boyfriend, I was like, I'm gonna beat everyone in my group. And he's like, you're not gonna beat that guy with 90,000 steps, babe. And it
I
was
mean,
you.
I'm not
It's you.
technically in your group,
You're
so
that guy.
yeah. Yeah, that
So,
guy.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not technically in the group. I just created the group. So you have beaten everyone else in the group.
Well, until someone sinks, someone inevitably won't have sunk their steps, and then I'm gonna not.
I don't think anyone. Oh, one person in your group hasn't sunk.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I don't think he'll beat you
Yeah, fine.
based on his previous steppage.
Yeah, but based on my previous steppage, I would be half of what I got this week.
Well, sure, but
Anyway,
you were recovering from a
yeah, true.
surgery. Oh dear.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we are here
Cool.
today to talk about the main
Yeah,
topic for.
I don't actually think I mentioned this. I mentioned bees, and so
Mm-hmm.
most people will probably have realized. But if you're new to the podcast or whatever, we're going to talk about APICO, which is
Mm-hmm.
a bee farming game.
And if
It's
you
definitely
did
farming.
not listen to the last podcast, you should, because it is us interviewing the developer of APICO. It was very
Yeah,
nice.
I don't think you don't need to listen to it before this one. You can
No,
listen to
no,
them in
you
any
should.
order.
No.
But I think it's a good episode. I'm really pleased with how it came out. It was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It was months in the making. We recorded that in February and then released the episode 2 weeks ago. So that was fun.
It was fun to listen and back to it. Like, I listened
Yeah,
to the whole episode because I forgot about almost all of it.
yeah,
So that was fun. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it was good fun. So we're
Yeah.
going to talk about APICO this episode. We've
Mm-hmm.
been spending a couple of weeks playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to chat about that. And because I think up to this point we've just been talking about it in the abstract.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it'll be good to talk about it properly. And before that, we've got some news. First of all, what have you been playing, Cody?
I've been playing APICO.
What?
I know. I have been playing today. I played a little bit, or sorry, yesterday I played a little bit of Pokemon Go, and Pikmin Bloom. I've been jumping back into the Pikmin Bloom
Nice.
game, which is fun. I see you haven't played for a while.
I have.
You're like way behind me. You used to be so ahead of me in
Oh, and level wise,
level, and then now you're
yeah.
like
I
super
think
behind me.
I think step wise, I have like another 20 levels or something
Mm-hmm.
saved up. But the problem
Yeah.
is like a whole bunch of the levels are like, oh, you need to clear some mushrooms, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not fun,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, you have on that game, it says you only have 770,000 steps, and I have 623,000. So
I have 800,000 steps according
it
to my
doesn't
app.
say that. It
I
says
also definitely have done more
770.
steps than that, so it's obviously not been syncing all the time.
I know. That was what I was going to say. Yeah,
Well,
I'm
it
level
doesn't. It
34.
doesn't help. It doesn't help that like I use a Fitbit for my actual steppage, and
Yeah.
Google Fit is much worse at step counting than Fitbit.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, so when I was on my 24,000 step walk, because
Mm-hmm.
that was basically all of the steps I did in the day, it was pretty much the same as my Fitbit. So when you're actually doing like long walks, it's pretty good at
Mm-hmm.
doing that. But it doesn't notice like the walking between the office and the house, and it doesn't notice like the random other steps and stuff like that. Whereas the Fitbit
Well,
does count all of them.
yeah, because it's like if you have all of those steps that you just like set your phone down and then you walk away, because like I have
Yeah,
that a lot. Like if I'm volunteering at the wildlife center, I will set my phone down and like walk around and help a bunch of animals, and then halfway through the shift I'll be like, crap.
yeah.
I lost all those steps. So um yeah, anyway, that's what I've been playing, just those couple small games. What have you been playing, Al?
I've been playing Apico.
Ooh.
And I think that's about it. I've not really had a busy couple of weeks. Well, I've had a busy
Mm.
couple of weeks. I've not really had a busy
Not for
couple of
gaming.
game playing weeks. um,
Mm-hmm. You got one of those advanced copies, right?
yeah, yeah. I
Mm.
am press apparently.
So you got.
So
I
I've been
don't know
playing
why
for a couple
you
of
are
weeks.
press and I'm not. L. Elle, I wouldn't have told anyone on the Discord, I promise. I don't know why you don't trust me. The the other day, on the Discord, he was, gosh, someone I like was telling someone about how bees are wasps, and on that Discord, you're not supposed to mention wasps at all.
You got banned.
Well, so he was like asleep, and we were having most of the conversation like when he was asleep, and then someone continued the conversation in my morning, which is like Elle's evening, and I was like responding to it, and I answered, about how bees are wasps, blah blah blah, and all I saw was Elle Razor is typing, and I was like, oh no, I'm in trouble. It's like I'm gonna get banned, but no, he's fine. But yeah, you
Cool.
should have given me an advance copy. Anyway.
So, let's talk about some news.
Yeah.
First of all, we have a date for the Wholesome Direct now.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the 11th of June. We will almost certainly be covering that on the podcast, assuming actually something comes out. I mean, I can see in their list they've got a couple of games that we're following, and I suspect there'll be some other new exciting stuff because all of the podcasts, all of the games that we follow are, retweeting it, and I wonder why you're retweeting this. So we'll see what comes out of that.
One of the games on the video on the tweet, it looks like Tony Hawk Frog Skater.
Mm.
It just looks like a skating game, but it has a frog, and you get like points.
Yeah.
Style point. Did you ever play Tony Hawk?
Yeah. Did I ever play Tony Hawk?
I didn't know if y'all had it there. I don't know.
Come on.
Okay.
I bought the remake of 1 and 2, so that shows you. Of course I played.
I was thinking, I saw it on Switch the other day, and I was like, oh, I'm tempted. But anyway, yeah, check out the Wholesome Direct on June 11th for Tony Hawk Frog Skater.
Yeah.
Next up is Dragon Quest Builder,
Yep.
which is now available on iOS and Android.
Yep. This was Shadow Drop. They just announced it and released it, and so there we go.
There it is.
It's the first one, not the second one. I've not played the first one, so I have no idea if it's any good.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's anything like the second one, it's good, and that's interesting. So yeah, available on iOS and Android now. Speaking of available on iOS and Android, Turnip Boy is also there.
I may or may not be looking it up on the App Store right now.
Yeah. So you can, it's free to start. So I think you get like the first chapter for free. And then you have to pay like $5 or something for the rest of the game.
Why is tax have a star in it?
Because like a swear.
Tax is a swear?
Yeah.
How is that a swear?
Well, because Turnip Boy doesn't like tax. So it's like a swear.
So it's, okay, that's interesting.
It's a funny joke.
But it doesn't say it on there. I'm so confused.
Where's it asterisked?
So I'm on iOS, on the iOS store, the Apple store, and it says Turnip Boy commits tax evasion, but the A in tax is like an asterisk instead.
Oh yeah.
But the picture the video doesn't have it as an asterisk. I wonder if they had to do that so that it wasn't like put under tax, tax software or something. That is ridiculous. Anyway, I'm excited. I know that you and Bev spoke really good things about it. So
yeah, I enjoyed the game. I've downloaded it on my phone. Haven't played it on the phone yet. It'll be interesting to see what it's like control wise. But it's a very enjoyable game. I like it. Speaking of games coming out on other platforms, we have a hint that Rune Factory 5 might be coming to Steam. So they managed to create... so quite often on Steam, they will like add something into the back end that it will end up being a specific game because they want to like put in kind of stuff behind the scenes before they announce things. But they tend to like be a bit more subtle than this. And they would put like, oh, here, like a random name or like an unknown name or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
somebody who was uploading this put the name as Rune Factory 5 initially, and then they changed it. So they changed it to unknown app. But well done to whoever managed to muck that up. Uh, so we don't know for certain that this is happening. It is possible that this is not real. And it certainly might not be coming out in the release date that it says, which is the 13th of July. But I, if I was a gambling person, I would probably put money on it coming out
Mm-hmm.
in July. Because yeah, but you never know.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. It's like when you write an assignment for class and you title the like paper like stupid paper that I don't want to have to write, and then you forget to you forget to change it when you submit it. It's like that.
Yeah, we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit Tea. So this is a game about farming tea and some spirits. They've got a new publisher. They have released a new trailer, and they're officially coming to Switch.
Hmm. It looks really cute.
Yeah.
I like the
Um.
vibe. Like the thing says, for people who might not have heard of it before, the Nintendo Life article title is Spirit Tea is a heady brew of Stardew Valley and Spirited Away.
Everything has to be like Stardew Valley. Why does everything have to be like Stardew Valley? It's
Even
not like
things that
Stardew
aren't
Valley.
Stardew Valley.
Like this. I mean, I'm counting this as a farming game, but technically you're not actually growing the tea yourself. Someone else does,
Mm-hmm.
and you just deal with it. So, like, in what way is it Stardew Valley?
The pixelate, the like art style, the fact that you're like now 2D game, like these types of games are now Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
I can see why this is called Stardew Valley. It doesn't make sense to me why people have said APICO is Stardew Valley, but it's whatever. It looks really pretty.
Because it's
Like,
also pixel.
well, there's also the thing
Everything's
about this is
pixel.
that it's also like a tea house. It's like the cleaning
Tea.
up the tea house gives me big community center vibes.
It just feel like everything has to be Stardew Valley, and it is. Bleh.
Can't wait for the Skyrim Stardew Valley crossover. Where it at? Find me a game,
We love
listeners.
to take a game that people know and say another game is like this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and apparently just now it's Stardew Valley. Anyway, I backed this on Kickstarter. It'll be interesting to see whether or not I can get the Switch code instead of a Steam code for that, but they haven't said anything yet, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
It is coming later this year, so I think that's the most concrete release date we've had for for Spirit Tea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if you're listening, Spirit Tea people, if you need to take more time, it's okay. It's okay.
My Time at Sandrock is now out in early access,
Woo! This
and
is the My Time at
apparently,
Portia game.
yes, this is a sequel to My Time at Portia, and apparently people are already annoyed with it because they thought that multiplayer was going to be available at early access, so they've already had to apologize for that, even though they never said that it.
I was gonna say, wait, did were they told that it was
No,
gonna be?
no, they
Okay,
weren't. People
then
just
that's
assumed.
people's fault.
Uh huh. What they said was, where is it? Lost it. Oh yeah. Please see this video for the tentative roadmap for multiplayer mode, as well as an apology, since it's come to our attention that some players expected multiplayer mode to be available upon early access launch, an expectation that
No,
was not met.
that's so especially like seeing APICO's release and like seeing people come into the Discord and just like ask questions like why did you think that was like why did you
Yeah,
expect that? Like I don't understand.
yeah, yeah.
So
Like one of
that's
the
the
top
same.
replies,
Like where
one of
did
the
it say?
one of the top replies says, "Maybe I was just looking in the right places, but I felt like you were very forthright about multiplayer not being available."
Yeah. Maybe I was just looking in the right place.
Maybe I
I
was just
love
reading
that.
the information you put out.
Maybe I don't know. I was like,
Crazy
what have they
idea.
said about this before? Yeah, that's how I feel.
um, Atomic Crops released a DLC a few months ago. That DLC is now on Switch. If you care about that game,
It looks so good. It's called Reap What You Crow, and I love that so much.
Caca.
That made it so much better.
You're welcome.
But yeah, it looks like there's like a new leech gun.
Oh, goodness. You can be a crow.
Yeah, you're a crow. There's a scythe that you can use to kill people or kill the monsters rather. Yeah.
I'm not going to play this game again.
That's fine.
I don't think my brain can handle it. But there you go. If that's your thing, the DLC is out on Switch and Xbox, not PlayStation yet for some reason. Speaking of DLC that's now out, Let's Build a Zoo. The dinosaur DLC is out now. Woo!
Woo! And as of right now, there's a special promotion that ends June 2nd, which is the day after this podcast comes out. Right? So if you are listening to this on release day and you are interested in this DLC, then you can save 10%. So,
and if you don't even have the game yet, you can save 30% on the game plus the DLC.
Yep.
I don't know if I was just not paying attention, but I didn't realize it was a DLC.
Did you think it was a second game?
I thought it was a free update, but I don't know whether that was just me being an idiot and I missed the fact that it said DLC. But I'm assuming so.
It sure says that they want money for it here, and it looks like it looks good. Like it looks. I really like all of the like creatures that it has and stuff, and I
see the issue. It's both. There's both. The deal. So the original announcement was massive new DLC and huge free update, and so I must have in my brain just munged them together. Munged.
What does that mean?
Like, kind of like taking two things and like trying to squish them together into like one thing.
Merged?
Munge. No, not merged. Don't stop making up other words. No, stop putting other words in. No, I said the word that I meant. It's a word. Accepted. Munge them together.
Oh my gosh, it's a word. It's manipulate data.
Apparently so. Oh, there you go. But tying together systems and interfaces that were not specifically designed to interoperate. Munge them together. There you go.
If you munged up something, to munge up something is to ruin or damage something, to mess up something. I've never heard this.
Both work well in the meaning of what I meant.
Well, you know what else is getting merged is Autonauts. Autonauts. I'm gonna need to leave the transitions to you. Autonauts versus pirate bots.
Yeah. So this is the new Autonauts game.
Autonauts and pirates, but I don't know.
So we mentioned this. Was it in the last episode we mentioned the Autonauts stuff, or was that a couple episodes ago?
I don't think so. I think it was a couple episodes ago.
So this was originally meant to be a free update, and they announced a few weeks ago that it was not going to be that because it ended up being much bigger than they'd expected. But they have now announced the new game is called Autonauts versus Pirate Bots.
Never played this.
This is very definitely moving very far away from the whole farming aspect of the previous game. It looks like what's the word? What's the name of this? Why can't I remember the name of what this kind of game is?
Game?
No.
It does look like a fighting.
Like you
game.
set up specific things and to like stop advancing.
A strategy RTS, real time.
No. Oh man,
this is gonna bother you until you can figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you mean like Age of Empires? No, because Age of Empires is still kind of real time. No, it is kind of Age of Empires-y. Where you're like building.
No.
You're like building to try and prepare like a castle.
Yeah, it's like a thingy builder, like a thingy. I think is builder in the game.
I mean, it just looks like a kind of. The video kind of looks like a. It gives me Age of Empires vibes.
Defense games. Tower defense. There, got it. Tower defense.
It definitely it's like that, yeah. Because you like start out and you build, you get like all your little weapons and stuff, and
Yeah.
then the pirate bots come for you, or the autonauts come for you, whoever you choose, or maybe you can't choose.
No, I think you're. Yeah, I think the pirate bots are coming. I think you're always the Autonauts.
Okay, well that sucks because that little bird is really cute. I won't. Got a little pirate parrot on his shoulder. But yeah, so this is
And there are definitely towers. I see
okay.
towers in the tower as part of the
It
tower
looks the
defense.
one thing like from this it looks like Lego should be coming for these folks. It looks very Lego-y,
Yeah,
but
I don't think Lego have an exclusive right on blocky characters, but otherwise, a
yeah,
lot of people are probably in the same situation.
it's true.
Anyway, so yeah, it's not really a farming game anymore, so we'll talk about it again. But we're mentioning it because we have talked about Autonauts before, so
Mm-hmm.
there we go. I think that's all the news.
Okay.
Shall we talk about the game with the bees?
Yes, we
Ape
should.
APICO.
I'm actually opening my game because I'm trying to get into not full screen mode. There we go.
That sounds like a
Um,
mistake. Opening it.
why does it sound? Why? What? Why is opening
What?
the game a mistake, Al?
Because you'll just get distracted and start playing the game.
That's true. Anyways, um, so for people who haven't been on the podcast or haven't listened to the podcast before, or don't know anything about this game, from the Steam, this is the definition of the game from the Steam page. So APICO is a laid-back beekeeping sim game about breeding, collecting, and conserving bees. Set in a series of lush environments, APICO uniquely combines resource gathering, biology, and beekeeping mini-games, taking ideas from a mix of real life and fantasy apiculture and floriculture. So basically, in this game, you come to a little island, and your grandmother is going to show you how to be a beekeeper. Um,
Assuming you don't put her in your pocket, in your bag first.
can you put her in your bag?
Yeah.
I
You can
didn't know.
put any people in your bag.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you use the hammer on a person, you'll turn them into an inventory item. It's very funny.
Okay. Um, so yeah, you start out in this little area, and you meet your Nana. Her name is Belia. And she basically tells you about she gives you like the basics of beekeeping, and she gives you this guide that kind of takes you through the ropes of how to play the game. And there's a couple like quests that you can do to complete the guide. So it teaches you how to move around in the game, how to use tools, and the different aspects of the game. So it kind of like the tool aspect and the crafting aspect of it is kind of like Minecraft. Again, like Elle mentioned in the interview episode, that this game was inspired by the forestry mod from Minecraft. So if you get Minecrafty vibes, yes, you're right, because it's true. And you're given by your Nana, you're given like a couple bees to start. And so you basically just go through and start taking care of the bees, and learning about how to keep bees and then how to breed them. So I think the one thing that jumped out to me that I've mentioned before is that the beekeeping in this game is actually pretty dang accurate. You can have either basic apiaries, you know, these different types of apiaries. You can create frames, and then you have to uncap the frames. So when you take a bee frame out of a hive, it's of course like capped. The completed honey cells are capped, so you have to like use an uncapping knife or an uncapping fork to get that off, so that you can then spin all the honey out. And that is that's exactly what you have to do here in the game. And then you get the honey, and then you can sell the honey, and you can also make apicola, which is basically mead. But you get these different products that you can sell, and then you can just keep making more bees and completing the quest. Yeah, I think that's like the
Yeah,
basics of
good
it.
good overview.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the start of the game, because we always like to talk about how games start.
Mm-hmm.
So I quite like the tutorial in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that it works is you have this book which is, I can't remember what it's called.
The guide.
The guide. It's just a guide. Is that what it's just called? The guide.
Yeah. If
Grandpa's
you hit,
guide.
yeah, if you hit G, it opens.
Um. Oh, oh, handy. I've just been clicking on the button at the bottom. And the way it doesn't kind of, unlike a lot of games where I have issues with the tutorials where they're just like, oh, this is what you do and this is what you do, and it kind of goes through like 10 things that you do. You can approach this as slowly or as quickly as you want,
Mm-hmm.
and it just has a massive list of 43 tasks to do, which essentially teaches you everything about the game. And you do one and then it unlocks another and then unlocks another, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
which I like. This is good, and it's done very well.
Yeah. I think it can seem sometimes at the beginning like it's coming at you really fast. Like there's a
Hmm.
lot of information coming at you really fast. But all of these quests remain there. So after
Yeah.
you finish something, so like if you do the crafting quest in which you learn how to craft items,
Hmm.
um, all of that information is still there. So if you were really into crafting and then suddenly you got into the beekeeping aspect and then you're like, wait, I completely forgot how to craft. Like, I don't remember how to do this anymore. All of that information is still there. And I can't tell you how many times I got stuck and was really close to just like asking on the Discord. And then I was just like, let me just look at the guide. And all the information is there.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know is there. So,
It's also, I think it's important that it can, as you say, feel like it's coming really quickly. And
mm-hmm,
that, it certainly has that issue that a lot of this style of game has,
mm-hmm,
where you can feel like there's always a billion things to do, which can make
mm-hmm,
it kind of less calming and enjoyable as like normal farming games. But
mm-hmm,
the good thing about this is that you're not getting disadvantaged if you don't do things immediately.
mm-hmm,
Um, and there's nothing stopping you just like not doing everything all at once. So like, at this point I'm just going through and building up a whole bunch of stocks of certain items
mm-hmm,
and ignoring everything else, and
mm-hmm,
that's fine. There's like, I'm not, I've not got, my bees aren't dying, you
mm-hmm.
know. And so I think it does a nice balance of, here's a whole bunch of stuff to do, but you don't need to do it if you don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, it has a little bit of something for everyone. Like if you so I like resource gathering. So I think I spent like 6 hours one day just collecting, like uncapping pollen, like uncapping frames and like putting more frames in and like making sure my bee and like farming up all my bees and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I love doing that kind of, like, some days I just want to do that and I would like play Minecraft, but this also scratches that same itch of just like, okay, I'm just gonna take care of some bees, and oh look, I have more pollen, and oh look, I have more of this stuff, and now I can make, now that I have all this honey, I can turn it into apicola, and then I can sell it, and then and just like stock up on money. So money is no longer a problem for me. Um, yeah, I like that a lot. And then there's the like exploration aspect. So the map is, well, it's a fairly large map, but it doesn't have a ton of like diversity right now. But this is also like first stage game. And I know that in the interview, Elle mentioned that they were going to do like an ocean update, and that is ripe for this game because there is a decent amount of ocean like to go between the different islands. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Um, and then the collecting aspect is the one other thing that, of trying to make sure that you can get all of the different types of bees, but also all of the different types of flowers.
Yeah, so let's talk about kind of the simple how the gameplay loop of beekeeping,
Yeah.
because then that'll feed into the breeding and collecting aspect of the bees. Do you want to do a quick overview of how you look after bees?
Yeah, so you can find beehives around on the first island that you start on, and they just look like, I mean, these little beehives that you think of when you think of like a beehive. Um, and they have like wild queens in them. And you can take those beehives and the queen with the hammer that you have and then take them. I like to move them back towards my like main base area because I don't want to have to run around all the time. Um, and then
Yeah.
you can breed two bees together and then they become their offspring is a queen. You basically just like mush two bees together and they become a queen. And
Would you
then
say you munge them together?
oh sorry. Well, munge is to mess something up.
Well, it has multiple definitions.
Okay.
Like,
You munge two
psh,
bees together. Here, I'm gonna munge two bees together right now. So I'm munging these two bees, and then I have a resulting queen, and each bee has 4 stats that she has. So it's like her longevity. It's like how long she's gonna live, how fertile she is, so like how many babies she's gonna have. Um, oh gosh, I can't remember all of these off the top of my head. Um, I don't remember the third one, but it's one of them is also stability. So like how stable she's going to stay in this as the same type of bee, rather than like if you have a hybrid, for example, that instead of staying as that species of bee that it was originally, it could, if it's an unstable bee or has a low stability score, it could become a completely new species, which for breeding you want. So you have your queen that you've just made. She has all these traits. And then she starts, her lifespan starts ticking down. I think it's usually around like 5 or 6 minutes of her being active. And she like fills in these honeycombs, and at the end of her lifespan there's like an output of offspring, and then you can munge those offspring together. Or if you get 3 of them, then you can like put another one somewhere or whatever. So that's the basic beehive. The beehives will only clone whatever the queen is, so you can't crossbreed bees in a beehive. It's just going to be the exact same type of bee that you put in. If you want to clone, then you need to get an apiary, which you can craft at the crafting bench. And there's basic apiaries and advanced apiaries, and swarmers. So the basic one has 3 slots for frames for you to like have get honey out of and other materials. The advanced apiary has 6 spots for frames, and then the swarmer doesn't have any spots for frames for you to get materials from the bees. It is only reproductive output. Like all that comes out of it is babies.
baby bees.
Baby.
Oh,
So I really like using the swarmer for breeding because I generally don't care. If I'm trying to crossbreed bees, I don't care about their materials. Like I just want them out.
yeah.
So yeah, and then you use the different tools that you have, like I said earlier, like if you get these frames, then you can crack them open and extract the honey and other materials out of them. Each type of bee has a different material that it will produce in its honey frames, as well as like the usual suspects of honey and propolis, which is like a binding agent that bees use to put their stuff together. Beeswax, and then just basic honeycomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much for taking care of the bees. Like if you get
Yes.
too many of each type of bee, then you can put, like if you end up having too many that like too many non-queen bees, you can make these bee boxes that you can put all bees of like one type of species in.
Yeah.
So I like those for storing extras.
Yes. Yeah. I've got a couple of bee boxes. But I guess my only annoyance with them is that like you can only put them in one species. But I guess that's probably like you wouldn't put different bees of different kinds together
Mm-hmm.
anyway. But it's just in terms of like, there are so many different types of bees, and just
Mm-hmm.
having a one box per bee can be quite a lot of boxes in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it is what
There
it is.
are there are what 35 different species of bees or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you're not going to end up with hundreds of all of the bees.
Correct.
But yeah, like at this point, I don't have all the bees, and I have quite a lot of the bees that I do have. So
Mm-hmm.
I need to see if there's something else. Can you sell the bees?
You cannot sell.
No,
Well, I
sad.
mean, I guess you can like give them. So you can sell items and things to actually quite a few people of the NPCs are people you can sell to. I always just go to Skipper, who is
Mm-hmm.
the like guy on the docks who owns the boat. So he has a shop and he has things like bottles and the bottler, so you can get that stuff from him, so that you can make Apicola, the backpack if you want to use that, and then different boats for exploring. Um, so I usually just go to him to sell all of my stuff, but there are like you can put some things like in for quote unquote for sale, and he'll just take them. You can also just make a trash can if you wanted to get rid of things. Or the other thing you can do with bees is release them. So
Yes.
if you make a rehabilitator, I think is
Oh.
yeah, that's see, I'm not making a pun, you guys. That's actually what it's called. Um, it's this box that you can put bees into that they get released back into the wild. And so this is one of the game's like things that you can do in the game is you find these species that have been lost that are not found anywhere else anymore, and you release them. And after you release a certain amount of them, then it's your guidebook. Well, it's not your guidebook. It's your Nana's book. Gosh, what is it called? Or is it Abby's Folio? It's Abby's Folio. No, nope. It's Belia's Almanac. Okay.
Nice try.
Um, Belia's Almanac. That's your Nana's like bee book. Um, has all of the bees in it, and you can see in there like, for example, I have the common bee, and its conservation status is that it is thriving. So it doesn't need any help. But some of these other ones, like I have a misty bee that is vulnerable, or a glowing bee that is lost. So the more time you spend like breeding these bees, any that you don't end up using, you could release them, and improve their status so that they are not lost anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the rehabilitator.
Rehabilitator. Um yeah, I think it's interesting, the kind of the overall kind of cycle of it is pretty simple, but it can end up being quite complicated. There's a lot to
Mm-hmm.
do. And I quite like the additional aspect of the collecting the different bees.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I put that in there? I'm so
Are
confused.
you also playing the game?
No, not at all. Of course not. Why would I do such a thing while we're recording a podcast? Yeah, no, I like the aspect of like, yeah, I can kind of collect all these different bees,
Mm-hmm.
which is good fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think to mention like crossbreeding very like quickly. I mean, it's pretty like I've kind of already mentioned it, where you put them in some type of apiary. So not the beehive, but some type of apiary, whether that's the basic, the advanced, or the swarmer. And your bee needs to be a hybrid. And you can actually take a hybrid bee, a hybrid queen, and put her in the predictor, which you can make a predictor, or you can be bad like I am and go steal the predictor from Benjamin's house. Um, you can just use your hammer and just take it and put it in your house, which is what I did. Um, and basically, this just throws up a Punnett square that shows your bee and shows the potential offspring of your bee, and so you can make sure that the bee is the bee is going, it has the possibility of giving you a new species that you don't have.
Yeah, so I've certainly not gotten to that point of actually figuring out how that works. That's on my list
Mm-hmm.
of things that I need to do. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's one of my next tasks, but it gets quite complicated at that point
Yeah. I
because like
mean,
there's a whole bunch of different genes they can have, and
mm-hmm.
oh boy.
Yeah, because they can, like I said, they have the four traits. Oh, here it is: lifespan, productivity, fertility, and stability. So those are the four traits that they can have. And then they also have like what times of day they prefer. So if they're diurnal, nocturnal, or if they're active like during dusk.
Hmm.
Um, and then what kind of climate. So if they prefer um, like water, like this species loves rain, or this species loves snow because there are snow bees. Um,
Ooh, I haven't
so,
found them yet.
hmm?
I haven't got to them yet.
Oh yeah. So, yeah. So, breeding for all of those traits. Um, I also haven't really quite figured it out yet. Um, I mean, it all makes like if you look in the guide, it explains inheritance. So it explains like the crossbreeding tab does explain like if a queen is, or if a bee has a recessive trait and this is what the recessive trait looks like, then blah blah blah. So like it all is explained in there, but I just haven't taken the time to like read that
Yeah.
because I'm just having fun still. Like I don't know, so many of these people in the Discord have like perfectly bred bees, and I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah, how did you get to that?
I just mush them all together and I munge them together and see what happens.
Yeah.
But and if you, some bees need to crossbreed two bees, you need special. Sometimes you need special situations. So you can also figure that out if you look at your Nana's almanac. It'll tell you like in the Misty bee. Oh, so I guess also the other thing in the almanac is if you look at your bee, like if you have the common bee, for example, in the bottom right of the common bees page, it shows you what bees it hybridizes with. So it'll tell you like the common bee and the forest bee make the verdant bee. And so then you can go to the verdant bee and you can look up like does that need, and kind of read at least a little bit of what it might need. So for example, like one bee that I had like when it was still like a basic page, it said something like this bee only likes to come out when people are sleeping.
Mm.
So I knew that like when that queen was almost done and she was about to like put out offspring, I was gonna have to like go and sleep really quick. And like, because if you use the bed, time just passes really quickly. But I was like, oh, I gotta be sleeping for this, or else this bee's not gonna come out.
Yeah.
Another one was like, this bee doesn't like being around people or being around other bees. So I was like, okay, so to breed it, I'm probably gonna have to put its hive like way the heck out, you know. So yeah, you just got to keep track of those kinds of things that, and again, like the Nana's almanac is really good for that. So when you do get to that stage, Al.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot still to do before I get there, I think.
I guess I haven't asked you, or like we haven't at the top of the episode or top of the topic, we probably should have been like, what, like, where are you in the game? And like,
Yeah, I'm probably not as far as you. So I have, I've only discovered, I think, two other bees other than the kind of the standard ones. Because mostly I've just been kind of like resource gathering. So in terms of the overall tasks,
mm-hmm.
I'm at 28 done out of 43.
Okay.
So I'm just about to, as we speak, I'm just about to make some apicola.
Okay.
Um,
And
what about you?
how many monies do you have?
Oh, like almost nothing, because I've not really found many things I can sell yet.
Okay.
There's like a bunch of things that you can sell for like 0.1 rubies,
Mm-hmm.
but like other than the perils, like nothing else is
Mm-hmm.
really worth anything so far.
Okay.
Presumably, I'll find some stuff at some point that is worth a lot of money. Like I'm going to guess the apicola probably I can sell for a decent amount, but
Mm-hmm.
we shall see.
Yeah. So I've saved 17 bees species out of 35.
Nice.
Not all of those are like thriving populations again. Like I still have to do that for a couple of them. Like I'm still slowly releasing more and more of a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have the map fully done. I have 4,500 rubies and 153 honey core. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm enjoying it. You
Yeah.
could say.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the sort of game that I'll be like playing for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because it takes a lot of thought to process, I think, for a lot of these
Mm-hmm.
things. Which is not a problem. It's just like that's just one of these things. But yeah, I'm certainly enjoying it. It is
Mm-hmm.
a fun game, and I've seen some people complain about it, like it ends up taking like a lot of like it's a lot more stressful than some games, and I understand that complaint, but also I think that is expected from a game like this, and it works quite well. It works a lot better than a lot of these games. So I don't feel,
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned at the top, like, yeah, there's a billion things you can be doing, but I don't feel like I'm being disadvantaged by not doing any of them at any particular
Mm-hmm.
point.
I will say for like anyone that's because I think the biggest thing that I was really not anxious, but like the thing that like stressed me out a little bit when I first started playing this game was like the frames, like
Mm-hmm.
keeping track of the frames and uncapping them because I really like how the menu management in this game. But I sometimes wish that like you could do have like a hopper system, which they are working on a mod for that. Um, Last I heard, it was being used, like people were using it, and it was nice, but it was having some glitches. I think in multiplayer, so they were working on it. And so like, because if you are taking, you have to have the if you're taking frames out of a hive, you have to have the hive open, and then you have to have the uncapping bench open,
Yeah.
and then you have to have the center. What does they call it? Extractor. No, they call it the centrifuge. Wait, they probably call it the extractor.
There's
I
the
have a
extractor,
couple.
yeah.
I have a couple updated versions. um, but yeah, so and so then you have to like kind of keep track of all of those things and move things between those menus and stuff. Which if you have if you're like me and I tried to start having like these huge hives of each type of bee,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a bad time. Like it's that's not this game. It almost makes you like slow down and stop. So right now I actually don't have I have a bunch of beehives specifically for cloning the types of bees that I'm getting because I just want more of them so that I can release them. um, but then I only have 3 apiaries that have frames in them, and I don't even think there's any bees in them. I'm not gonna lie. Nope, there's no bees in them. So because you don't have to do that, like you don't maybe until you like get enough money to be able to buy the things that you need to explore and stuff, but it's not a required part of the game to do all of that and like
Yeah.
do it at the level that everyone seems to want to, and like I wanted to. Like I think I had like 7 of them, and I was like, this is not working out for me. Because by the time you've cleared one of them out, or like even like 3 of them out, and like put the frames back in, another one of them is already full. So you're like basically all you do while the bees are awake is just uncapping the frames and making sure that you can get all of the materials that they have coming out. But
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do, you don't have to be doing. I think this is the thing. Like, you can be doing that the entire time, but you only
mm-hmm.
need to do that the entire time if you're trying to min max, right? If
Yeah,
you go, oh, I must have everything done, then
yeah,
yeah, of course you're going to want to do everything all the time, but that doesn't mean you need to.
yeah. You don't need to at all. So
I've,
yeah.
one thing I would say is because there are so many menus and so many places to find things, I lose things a lot. Like I know I have a canister of honey somewhere I'm looking for, and I have no idea where I've put it. Or is that it there? Oh, I found it.
Yeah.
Found it. All good.
Oh, I'm happy for you.
Because I
Yeah.
was like, I have it somewhere and I want to make some cola with it, but I don't know where it is. But I've got it now, so that's
Yeah. You can also use the bottler just with honey too.
right.
So you can make you extract these like the honey from the like in the extractor. You extract the honey from into like a wooden canister or a wax canister that you have. And
Yes.
then you use that to put it into like make apicola or like in through the fermenter. But you can also just put it straight into the bottler and just sell the honey. You can also do it with water. Like bottlers can have pretty much any liquid in them. And I didn't know that at first.
Oh,
I was just
right.
like, this
Yeah.
is just for apicola, but it's not. So another thing since I'm thinking about it, another thing I didn't realize until forever, was the blessed bees. You take them to a gate to the altar. So there's 4 places around is it 4? I think it's 4. There's 4 places around the map that have like altars that you can send. They say send messenger bees to, but it seems like you're sacrificing these bees. But you put 3 bees at the altar, and then when you're done, it says like your prayer was heard or whatever. And I had no idea what this was doing, but I was like, it's got to be good for the game. And there's probably an achievement for sending X number of bees. And I'm such an achievement person. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to do it for a while. But then another thing that you need for apicola is water. And so I have these rain tanks, but they weren't like it just would not rain. And I was just like, why does it not ever rain in my game? And I was like, almost gonna go onto the Discord and be like, like what the heck? Like I'm not getting any rain. And I found out that the idol that I was sacrificing bees to is for you to pray to the hive mother for clear skies. So it's just one of those
That'll do
like
it.
it's one of those like if I had read like if I because you can like hover over the idol and shift and read that. But I don't. I just do it. I just do
Just
stuff.
do the stuff.
I just do stuff. So if I was to tell anyone anything about this game, it'd just be like to slow down.
Yeah.
Just read everything. Like you don't have to be a game guzzler.
You don't have to be, but that doesn't mean you can't be.
Don't be a game guzzler.
Why not?
No.
Play the game the way you want to play the game.
Maybe. I think another thing, like for people that do have problems with the menu system, or not the menu system, but like uncapping and how some of these things seem like they take a lot of effort, I guess. I'm not entirely sure, but like they're very intensive. Like you can't just like put stuff into the uncapping bench and then walk away, right?
Yeah.
I would just tell you to keep playing.
Yeah, well, I mean, as with
there may or may not be things later.
Well, this is the thing. Like, as with all games like this, things definitely get easier and quicker over time.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly in what ways that is depends on the game, but it always happens.
Yeah. You do encounter things later that make it easier. So,
yeah.
Like, don't worry about guzzling the game right away. Just have fun. Like, slow down, have fun. And that's something I like about this game is it does make me just, like, slow. Because, I mean, how I was playing it at first was very, like, frantic. But ever since, realizing that I just was not... was just, like, blowing through the game. Just, like, slow down, read the guide. Like, worst case scenario, you can join the Discord. There have been a bunch of people that have joined the Discord lately. So if you do have any questions, you can always join the Discord. And there's so many people on that Discord. It's such a nice Discord server.
Yeah.
And it's popping over there. So if you have any questions, there are a bunch of people that are ready to answer it for you, for sure.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I think generally what I would say is, I feel like we're wrapping this up, so should we conclude things? I would say that if you like town builders or resource management games, both of them will work quite well for this. It's kind of an interesting Okay, one other thing I would say is that I think it's an interesting kind of combination of how you play this. So you are playing as an
Mm-hmm.
individual, but a lot of it feels like uh you're much more kind of playing the kind of like character that you do in a lot of town builders,
Yeah.
where you can just stand in one place and be within reach of everything you want to, and just open up all these menus and transfer all these things between different places,
I
which
feel attacked.
well, it's just you can't. It's fun. Like, you don't need to move around if you don't want to.
I
Um,
literally almost never leave like the original house
yeah,
that was made in this game. Um, I've made like all of my beehives are in such a way that I don't have to leave the house. uh,
um, so yeah, I think that if you like any kind of game like that, I think it would work well. If you if you like games that are calm and you don't have to do everything all at the same time, I think you would still enjoy this.
mm-hmm.
Um, just make sure that you go into it not expecting, like knowing that you won't be doing everything all the perfect time. If you
Mm-hmm.
need to be doing things like getting the most efficiency out of everything immediately, that's where you are going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll feel like you need to do everything immediately, and you won't be able to, because you just can't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing I would say.
Yep. Yeah, I think a couple things just to like so that I make sure that I mention a lot of the things. You can also as well as breeding bees, you can almost like you can crossbreed or cross pollinate rather flowers as well. So you can end up with different flowers that have different traits. So that's like another thing that you can fill out, like another collection aspect. And basically, how it works is if two flowers of different species are next to a hive and a bee from that hive visits both flowers, then one of the things that's made in the honey is a hybrid, like a hybrid species flower seed. So then you just have to plant it. And then you get that. And so those are nice because you can, have more productivity, more fertility, blah blah blah, things like that. So that's really good. The I definitely had something else I wanted to mention. Later on in the game, you can acclimatize bees to things. So basically, like if there's a bee species that doesn't like the rain, you can acclimatize them to the rain. Um, so that's good for making sure that bees can like live in the area that you live in. And then the last thing that I adore about this game is the music. So, folks who might have listened
Yes.
to the last episode know that I have said this before, and that the person who developed the music for APICO, their name is Mothens on the Discord, and they're also Mothens in this game. Finding them in this game was a treat. I was very happy. Um, if you haven't found them, Al, I'm excited for you to find them. The music for this game is so chill and like so relaxing, and I knew this already because I'd been listening to it. You can find it all on like Spotify, but even just like playing the game and having like a song pop up, um, is just it's just like I normally play with, and I told you this, Al. I normally play with all the music off, all the sound off. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to do like I just don't want to hear it. But
Yeah.
I have not muted this game because the sound effects make me just smile, and then every time one of those songs come on, I just smile, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, is this why people have music on in games? Is this the magic that I've been missing my whole life?
Yeah.
Um, it's just so well done. It fits the vibe of the game really well. So hats off to Mothens for sure. And I know that they're making music for other games as well. I think they're making some for Feed the Beasts, which is T Engineer's other game that they're developing. So yeah, I think that was all I really wanted to mention. I don't know if you have any final concluding wrap ups as well.
I don't know. I think it's an enjoyable game.
Okay.
Go play it. I feel like
Would
we've
you?
probably given enough of an indication to people whether they want to play this game or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely more to the game. We didn't want to like spoil everything. But it is very enjoyable. And if you give it a shot or have any questions, find me on the Discord and I will chat to you about it. Or if you want to know how bees or wasps, let me know.
You can also wear a beehive as your hat.
I saw that too. Yeah.
You know, important things.
Yeah. I actually don't know how to do that. I've just seen people do it.
I have a beehive hat.
How?
It was just in. I don't know how you do it after the start, but it was just in the character creation
Oh, okay.
screen.
Okay, yeah. I see.
So I don't know if you can change that. Presumably you
can
can somewhere.
Yeah, so to change your appearance at any point in the game, you just go into your starting house and there's a dresser, and you just use the dresser. So yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Codey, for joining me for this episode of the Harvest Season.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, listeners, for listening. Codey, where can people find you on the internets?
I'm pulling up my Twitter. Let me find it. I am on Twitter at Codey Mathis. That's my name, Codey Mathis.
You can find me on Twitter if you want at the Scottbot. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at THSPod. If you want to email us, you can do that from our website, harvestseason.club, where you can find links to other things as well, including our Patreon, where you can get access to our bonus episodes, The Greenhouse. In the next episode, we will be talking about hiking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you enjoyed us talking about walking earlier in the episode, we'll be doing more of that.
There's going to be more of that.
More of that. I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Until next time, have a good harvest.
The Harvest Season is created by Rochelle Delaney and Al McKinley, with support from our pro farmer level patrons, Kevin and Stuart. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode. Thanks for listening.